Hi, hello everyone. Hi, hi Prakash.
Hi Ravi. Yeah. Is Rishabh joining in some time?
I think yes. Fine.
Right.
Hi, good evening, Ravi. So excited to watch the live thing, the session.
Yeah.
Great. Good luck.
Prakash, do we need to showcase our idea today also, or like, is there
Or I
any?
guess Gyan is doing, I don't know the schedule. Or,
Yeah, we were attempting the Etherscan API challenge. Let me post the document again. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
Let me know if you're able to access the PDF. Yeah.
One- Yeah, I'm able to access.
Yeah, we'll start shortly. Rishabh, if you want, you can go through the run through the documentation and share it from your screen. You can give an explanation from your own words in terms of how you understand this.
Prakash, are you saying to me this?
Yeah, Ravi. Yeah,
Oh,
you can go
I
ahead. Yeah, sure.
okay, okay. So you want me to explain okay,
Yeah,
okay, sure, sure,
documentation post I have posted. I think there are two
sure,
links.
sure.
So let's first start with an introduction. Let's see if we can run through it and see how it can. Uh,
Okay. So should I start sharing my screen and go ahead, or
yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
okay. So honestly, I haven't used Etherscan APIs, uh, but yeah, I can go on and explain.
Sure, sure. It's just a general documentation. You just give an introduction and we can have any question, Q&A, basic Q&A to start with. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, as you can see in this particular section, uh, we need to explore the Etherscan API in a creative way, so we can use it with our Ocean protocol. Okay. So basically if you have gone through the Etherscan website and if you have explored it, so it gives you detail about how much, like what is the contract detail, and the detail of any particular address, how many transactions are made, and all the blockchain related detail, all the transactional related details can be seen on the Etherscan website. And the Etherscan APIs let you retrieve the data from Etherscan blockchain. So these are the API endpoints, I think. Okay, there can be much more. You can basically provide the blockchain IDs, you can provide the transaction IDs, and you can get the data for that particular thing. So, what were the result? Okay, and in this particular section, I think in this particular segment, we need to use these particular APIs to build something with Ocean Protocol, with Ocean Protocol and with the help of Etherscan APIs. If we can create a particular thing, then yeah, I think just
Yeah.
one
Uh,
idea quickly I can think of right now.
yeah.
Meanwhile,
Go
if
ahead.
okay, okay. So basically, as we know that Etherscan can provide us the detail about the contracts and the transactions which are going on. What we can do is, since our data set has a DID, and if it is linked or used in a particular smart contract like ours, the one which we have going to create in the comment section. So, for example, if we integrate a particular DID, with a particular smart contract. And now whenever any transactions are happening on that particular smart contract, or if our DID is getting used by some users, so we can draw a analytics platform with the help of Etherscan APIs. So I think this can be like I'm not sure, but yeah, this can be one particular example of what we can do. There can be many more, but yeah, this can be one of the things which we can try and implement. Similar, like we can create on um, different segments and different products on this particular APIs in our Ocean protocol.
Got it, got it. So yeah, that was a good intro. So actually, yesterday what we were discussing towards the end, I mean, if we, in case you check the stream, we were trying to find a generalized use case and then spin it around Ocean. That was the idea. And what we were thinking was, so NFT data points are pretty much popular. So we're trying to see if we can do that logic first in a general framework. And I think Rishabh mentioned that he can do a partial full stack also. But yeah, maybe when once he joins, we can have an idea. But what in terms of Ocean, what I'm actually thinking of is actually data NFTs are anyway an upcoming feature. So what we can
Okay.
still try to do is see how that actually I have seen that contract. I have seen the contract on Ocean Marketplace. Let me just find it. You have an idea to go to the current contracts? I mean, any reader contract, reading general contracts, Ravi?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I
Just check
can.
that. So this is actually the current contract for data NFTs specifically.
Okay, okay,
Marketplace. So, but it has a very different one. But what we can still do is we don't need to implement all the way. Uh,
okay,
what we can still do is try to find a generalized see we can see if this might be useful, but we can at least put this in the last part of the context. So in
okay,
terms
okay,
of Scan API, what we can still do is try to map a framework where the endpoints connect to the 721 tokens for a particular account. That
okay,
just like
okay.
how we are getting token balances for normal account, right? Like for any ERC20 based tokens, you can get those fetch balances and sorts, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Something similar to that, we can try to do that with the for NFTs data, and
Okay,
try to put a context saying that this will be useful for the V4 marketplace. Maybe that is one approach we were actually thinking of. We can also maybe have a discussion on having how we can implement that.
okay, okay.
So let's brainstorm in a bit until people join, and then we can start hacking.
Sure, sure, sure. Okay, I'm also going through it, like if I can think of any use case.
Hi, Trishul.
Hi, good evening.
Just to give a context, I will post the earlier posted chats again. So, Trishul, you went to the stream yesterday, right? You went through all of it till the end?
Yeah, I watched it all. Yeah.
Got it. So, we're trying basically continuing off from where we left off, uh, working on the Etherscan API challenge. So the mission statement gives a general idea of how we can try to find a creative endpoint with Etherscan API. So the second point is basically giving you the documentation around Etherscan API, and third one is essentially the token contracts that are there in the upcoming marketplace. So if you try to go around Ocean Marketplace, you will generally find, one second. Yeah. So let me just repost it again. So Trishul, have you had experience going through contract documentations?
Yeah, I went through few protocols,
Okay, sure.
some of the Polygon documentations.
Okay, okay. Do you want to give this one a try? The third link that was posted. Let's see if we can have some understanding out of it. You can share your screen if you can.
I'll have to take a look into this. I can't fully understand it one go.
No, that's okay. Just share your screen. We'll just try. We're all trying to hack it together.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, it's just very basic intro so that everyone can try to have an understanding.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Just give me 1 second.
Hello, Marisa. Welcome.
How's everyone doing? Guys, good?
Nice. Yeah, I saw your you had already made made the submission, right?
Already have. Yes, I already have.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, this session we are actually giving the Etherscan API challenge a spin. Right now we are just trying to run through some basics before a few more members join and we can do some live hacking. So Trishul is just going to give a short understanding of a basic understanding of the V4 marketplace. So, Valisa, if you're aware, the current data token marketplace runs on V3 contracts. The upcoming Ocean marketplace has more of the functionalities of data NFTs with specific IP rights that are coded and built. So that is what we are trying to see if we can work out the logic at the end. If we can come up with a creative framework with the Etherscan API and try to fit the endpoints to reading token addresses, data NFT token addresses for per wallet. So that is the idea we are trying to hack. So Trishul, once you're ready, we try to give a short intro on like your understanding from the contract.
Okay.
Current page.
That sounds awesome, man. I would really have to do some pre-reading. Is there any, are there any documents or any pre-reading that I can just read up on?
Yeah, sure. We're all actually reading it live right now. I think if you check the recent links that I posted, the first link refers to the challenge. The second link is basically the Etherscan API documentation, and the third one is the V4 contracts that are there in the GitHub of Ocean.
Okay, great.
Let me know if you want me to post it again. I can do so.
The links. No, I can see the links.
Awesome. Yeah.
So referring to the entire flow, usually the data publishers are the data owners who upload their data set or the data that they have onto the marketplace. So this publisher flow, so they are so this is basically data provider or data owner that we are used to, the general grammar that we are used to. So here they have referenced it as data publisher. So here the flow tells us step-by-step process of how the interaction happens between the publisher and the marketplace. So initially, when the publisher uploads when he's trying to interact with the marketplace. So as we know, a little bit context on how data is treated on the marketplace. Once the data set is uploaded, it's all abstracted away from the actual data set and it is now referenced as a data token. So essentially you give, let's say it's like a baggage room. You give your baggage and then you take a token out of from the baggage, and now all you need is that baggage number, the token number that the security guard gives you. So it's a little, we can draw a parallel from there as to how this transaction happens, and we continue to reference it as a data token. So we deploy a ERC 721 contract. So essentially you are NFT sizing your data. So for that data, you get a particular NFT ID back, saying this is the unique identifier for your data that you have provided to the marketplace. So this is that calls, and you get an ID back. So once that data token, ERC22 data token has been created, we can now start using the data token to either sell it or any other transaction. Now is all you have to do is get a hold of your data token and then use it as so that basically symbolizes that you are the owner of the data that you uploaded. So this publisher flow tells you that how you upload and how the smart contract is going to assign an ID for your data and mint an NFT and give it back to you. So this data as NFT is what we refer as a DT, data token. Yeah, I think that summarizes the publisher flow.
Any doubts here so far? Got it. So yeah, we'll go to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is called the roles diagram. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is essentially what separates the Ocean Marketplace way of dealing with NFTs with the conventional, the art NFTs that we have currently. So an NFT technically is an ERC 721 contract. So it's standard that has been set by the Ethereum Foundation developers to say that any NFT on the Ethereum blockchain will be an ERC 721 standard. So this NFT owner is one key attribute in that contract in the ERC 721. So this tells us who the owner of the contract is. So initially, whoever mints it becomes the NFT owner. And so these managers and these roles that you see are essentially the key for having role-based access control (RBAC) for all the data that we upload into the marketplace. And so ERC20 is essentially the token standard: Polygon, Matic, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the tokens that we have. And ERC725Y, it's a variant of ERC725, which is basically a proxy contract. It's basically a proxy smart contract. So let's say usually smart contracts are immutable. That is, once you deploy them or deploy them, you can't really upgrade them or change them to say. So there was this upgradable smart contract proposal that was made, and so the idea was to put a proxy smart contract, and that will actually later link to the actual logic where the so that link to a smart contract where the actual logic happens. So if you change the reference in the proxy smart contract to a different smart contract, you've essentially upgraded your smart contract, or you have modified the actual logic in the backend. Am I making sense here? Because let's say you want to, let's say your smart contract has say a royalty of 10%, but later you've decided I want only 15%. So now you can't take it back. So what you do is you have a proxy contract in middle, which is also a smart contract, which is referencing to the smart contract that is having this rule as royalties 10%. Now you create another smart contract with royalties as 15%, and you go back to the proxy contract and change your reference to the original contract and change the reference to the newly made contract. So essentially, you have made that earlier smart contract. You have nullified the effect of it, because the proxy one is actually now referencing the newly deployed smart contract. Did I make sense there?
So
Yes,
do
yes,
you
sure.
mean the proxy contract is just like a linked list, the next node? It will be pointing to that thing. Okay,
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm not
fine.
describing what's happening here. I'm just going step by step. I'm decoding these buzzwords, keywords here. So the importance of 725s and these proxy smart contracts, as they call them.
Okay, but whenever I read about smart contracts, in some articles it is saying that the smart contract is vulnerable. It can be hacked. What context do they prefer? Can you elaborate on that?
So you're saying smart contracts can be hacked?
Yeah, in some discussion, someone they're talking about that Polygon white hat, the smart contract was hacked. The hacker, he took the fund and he gave back to the Polygon also. Yeah, like something I don't exactly remember who said that in one of the Discord calls, I guess.
Uh,
Smart
okay.
contracts are
So I
secure, right? Because
yeah,
we are
smart
using the
contracts,
private access
s- s-
modifier.
smart contract as a whole is not hackable. As in, even the owner of the smart contract cannot change it afterwards once it's deployed. So I think what happened there could be, one reason could be that the logic in the smart contract itself is flawed. So if that happens, nobody can do anything. So as in,
Okay.
the code that was written in
Even
the smart contract can be flawed, or there was a corner case that they haven't covered, or something like that would have happened. But as a smart contract on the whole cannot be hacked. It's theoretically not possible.
okay, in DEPI 101, which was in the Ocean thing also, Ocean Academy, I remember reading the last lesson. In that, it was mentioned some precautions before getting into D5. They said the smart contracts could be vulnerable, or in one more thing they mentioned the data providers, they'll be giving a sample file also. In some cases it might be corrupted. You should cross check before downloading anything online or some stuff. So I was curious why everywhere it is written smart contract is vulnerable. I
Yeah.
just wanted to know the real reason.
So the second scenario that you just mentioned regarding the data, that is a different, that is entirely different thing. So so in the Ocean marketplace, once you buy a data from a certain provider, you'll have to spend
Okay.
some Ocean on it, right? After you spend some Ocean on it, you get the access to the actual data. So that could be through, it could be on an external source or some link that will be provided to you. So if that link is compromised, then you cannot really do
Sorry,
anything about it.
can you repeat it? The data provider is uploading the data, and if as a data consumer, if I'm requesting, I'll be purchasing the data token. Am I right? Then what were you saying?
So I'm saying, if the data
Okay,
itself is corrupted that you're trying to buy,
right. Okay. The
yeah, so that,
trustworthiness. Okay,
yeah, so that in itself cannot be a problem of smart contract. If you're
okay.
buying a product from Amazon, if the transaction has been secured, but the product itself that comes to your home is flawed, then
Yeah,
it is
that
not
is
in the
not
technology
that
sign.
yeah.
Yeah. So we are going out of scope of smart contracts, and
Okay. Yeah.
Ravi had something to add, right?
Yeah, I agree with Trishul. So basically, as Divya as Trishul explained, actually smart contract is a piece of code. So smart
Okay.
contract as a infra or what I
It's
can
just an
say,
agreement as
it's
an
an agreement
outline.
and
What
the
I
core
say is
part
just
can be
an
held.
okay. It's this SLA kind of thing. I understand like that.
Prakash, I was right about the flow of the marketplace transactions, right? Hope I didn't make any.
No, it's yeah. I think so far it went fine. The proxy was also actually new to me. The 725. So can you repeat the flow? Like for example, so how does
So
the role
I was
change?
talking about 725 in isolation,
Got it.
not with
Okay.
respect to the Ocean protocol that we just saw
Okay.
as
Okay.
a context to it.
That's okay. I'm just looking in terms of this particular deployer role. So at what condition do we nullify the base royalty that gets changed? Just from a gross perspective, I'm just having the doubt.
So it's just something that if you want to correct something or if you want to update a smart contract, this is one hack that people have found for
Got it. Okay.
because they are immutable. You have no way of changing the actual code there.
Got
But
it.
if you have a layer, if you have one more layer of smart contract on top of your actual logic that contains a smart contract, you can dereference the older one and reference it to the newer one. But ERC 725 in general is basically called an identity smart contract.
Got it. That is actually interesting because I was reading something about some few Solana contracts where you have that option of dynamic royalties based on a few conditions, like based on a
Correct.
floor.
Yeah.
I think based on the floor price, things can get altered or something like that. I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you
Correct.
remember?
Yeah.
Recall that?
No, I haven't seen them in Solana. I've seen them in some,
Okay.
I think in some Ethereum projects as well.
Okay. Got it.
So there is this, so ERC 721 was ERC 20 and 721, they were created by Fabian. He's right now he's at Luxo. Are you aware of Luxo network?
No.
So they
I'm
are trying
also
to
not aware of identity smart contract. Can you just say a single line about what is an identity smart contract?
so identity smart contracts. So what they do is you can create a profile for yourself. As in, instead of describing just an asset, which can be physical or digital,
Okay.
these smart contracts can be used to handle or manage your own identity, like as a human. So that was the
Okay.
initial
No.
motivation for this one.
Okay. A normal smart contract will be an agreement between the data provider and consumer. But this identity smart contract is only about the provider. You're talking about the provider, right? Provider or consumer?
No. That is not the idea here. So idea here
Right.
is
Okay.
okay. Let's go back to one more very crucial aspect of blockchain or NFTs in general. Let's
Okay.
say Prakash mints an NFT saying he gives out NFTs to everyone saying you are the ambassador of Ocean Protocol,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Indian Ocean Protocol, right?
Hmm.
So I can click the picture of NFT, and I can mint it by myself.
Okay.
Are you guys following me?
Oh, not clear though.
So let's say you have an NFT.
Mhm. Okay.
So that NFT was minted by Prakash,
Okay.
and that NFT says this has been certified to
To me, okay.
you for
Right.
being the
For the
ambassador of the
ocean
Indian
ambassador.
Ocean
Okay.
Outreach
Okay.
Program.
Okay.
So what I'll do, I'll click a picture of the NFT,
Okay.
I'll Photoshop it, write my name over your name, and I'll mint
Okay.
it I'll mint it on the same network.
Okay. Stating your name there.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll modify the image, but I'll again mint
Okay.
it as an NFT. So now
Okay.
what
Okay.
happens?
Okay.
You have the NFT, I also have the NFT.
Right.
But
Okay.
the flaw here is we don't
Legal
know.
owner. Okay.
Yeah, we don't know the issuer. We don't know if the issuer is if the issuer had the authority to issue a mint on behalf of the
That
Indian Ocean
particular
Outreach
NFT.
Program
Okay.
to certify you as an ambassador. So here the issue comes: who is the issuer, who is the verifier, and who is the consumer here?
Okay. So what is the solution? There comes identity smart contract.
Yeah, there comes identity smart contracts where whoever wants to verify can
Okay.
can say that the issuer who has given Divya the NFT and the issuer who
Okay.
has given Trishul the NFT are both different.
Okay.
That
Okay.
is the
Okay.
main distinction that we can do.
So it's more like a CA, certificate authority, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Now I get it. Okay.
yeah,
But it
It's
is automated.
it's more like a KYC thing for a
Okay.
person.
Okay.
yeah,
Great. Great. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So the issuer becomes because we even in OpenSea, if you see, there will be a number of duplicate collections that are there. But unless and until you go to the actual website of that particular project and click on the OpenSea link, then you can for sure know that this is the actual collection. Because as I said, you can always click the NFT picture and then again remint it for yourself and still have the NFT there.
Okay, but yeah, even before buying an NFT or something, we have to check for the authenticity, and this
Yeah,
comes to
you have
help
to
us,
check for
rescue us. Okay.
authenticity of the issuer, whoever is minting the
Okay.
NFT. So there are a lot of loopholes here and there. It's not completely end-to-end
Secure. Some kind
secure.
of.
So we're
Okay.
slowly
Okay.
building on top of the existing infrastructure that we have right now. So all these new smart contracts that we have ERC-721 are trying to layer a layer of security over the existing infrastructure.
Okay. 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 Okay.
So now that you have these ERC-725 contracts, you can
Okay.
link
Okay.
you can link your data tokens that you get to the smart contract logic. Okay, so this will become a little tricky, but yeah, just understand that this ERC-725 token, this smart contract, can act as a proxy smart contract. It can also act
Okay.
as a store for linking all your different types of assets that you have, whether they are stored in a ERC-721 contract or ERC-20 or any other standard that you have. You can basically
Okay.
you can basically refer to this 725 smart contract and look at
Check for.
what
Okay.
are all the linked ones to this one.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
by key value store, they mean that you have a key and you have value, so that value is where you want to go next, where that's where it's linking towards in the linked list.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good summary so far. Yeah. But Ocean Aquarius, you have an idea, right? I think that's the front end, one of the front end providers for the Ocean contracts.
Yeah, I actually have one question regarding Ocean Marketplace.
Mhm.
Is that so when you say curators, what do curators do in this entire flow?
You're asking about the general front end flow, right? Like what you see on the main Ocean marketplace, correct?
No. So when we talk about the entire ecosystem's stakeholders,
Yeah.
we have mentioned the providers, consumers, and we had there's this stakeholder called curators.
Are you talking about some description you found in the contracts, or this was something other, some other discussion you're talking about?
No, this is I've read it in the
Yeah, in the
in the
Ocean Academy, even I
Okay.
read that
Okay,
word
okay.
several
Got
times.
it, got it, got it, got it. So curator is essentially what you, so in the current Ocean V3 marketplace, what you generally have is each publisher is the curator himself. Like, because if you will not you just, it's all manually categorized. So anyone who is having the access control to a particular data asset, they make the changes. Like, for example, there are some attributes that you can, like parameters that you can adjust, saying that how, based on the liquidity pool, if you want to add some more liquidity, or if you want to change the length of like, I'll just share my screen so that it's a bit better. One
Sure.
second.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are you guys seeing this?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for this particular data set, the one who has access control to this data set, he's the one who decides all the parameters. Like, so they're essentially data curators themselves. The publisher have the curator role themselves. So they can set the buy. Like, for example, if I want to buy this particular data set, you can set this beforehand, whether he can use it for 1 month or 1 week or 1 day. And all the related descriptions will be found over here. Like how you can how long you can use the token, use the data token, and how long you will have access to the data token asset, and if you can use any algorithms on it. So this particular one doesn't have extensive information. Let me see if there is any other example.
So regarding this data token, I got a silly doubt now. Just like Trishul mentioned, Trishul or Ravi, I don't remember. Like the data token, it will be should like it's a baggage room. Just like a bag is stored, the data will be stored, and the data provider will be getting a data token for that. If in case if multiple consumers want access to that data, how will the data token be issued? Like at the same time, multiple users can have the access, right? They can purchase the data token. Can you make things clear? I get it like
Yeah.
it's a single thing, and how can it be shared among multiple consumers? I got little bit confused.
Because you want to take it?
Yeah, but I'll give a first context before we can have further clarification. So
Sure.
usually in general DeFi concepts, let's say if you're bringing a new token into the market, you have to pair it with some base layer, base token that is has a market standard and has proven liquidity. Like for example, if you're bringing some new token into the that is based on ERC20 standards, then you have
Okay.
to, how will you add liquidity to it? That's the question. So you will have to pair it with something that's existing liquidity, then you create a pair.
Okay. So here in our case, it will be the ocean
Yes,
thing.
exactly. So
Okay.
all the data tokens that are minted, they get paired against Ocean. So that's how the liquidity pair works. So in this case, if there is no, there's always multiple. Like for example, in that example that I showed, it has a code name called Quickra or something. So each of them have their own custom names based on Notion creatures. So that's just a trivia there. So for each token, then you have access to the thing, and the price can keep varying based on the
Yeah,
market.
the 70-30%
Exactly.
something that was mentioned. Okay.
Yeah. So the ones who manage the liquidity pools are the data curators and token curators. Like they usually have all the roles with themselves.
Okay, if I'm uploading data, if I'm the data provider, I am curator for that. If
Exactly.
else, if I am providing the algorithm, am I a curator for that
Yes,
algorithm or
yes.
is
The
it?
algorithm is
Okay.
also another concept. So
Yeah.
usually, sometimes you can also allow independent algorithms by allowing some whitelisting process. So let's say
Okay.
Trishul is handling everything right from algorithms to data assets. Then he's the one having
Both.
the
Okay.
responsibility. Let's say he has a data asset, he wants to make monetize his data, but he doesn't have an algorithm. So he whitelists Ravi, saying that okay, I trust this his algorithm, and there is no malicious intent there. So I allow his algorithm to function on my data set. So that's how it works in that case. It's for in
Yeah.
case of algorithm.
Okay. 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 So I remember reading that in the DeFi 101, like even so the data consumer also they can't read the data, like it will be private, and the data the algorithm consumer he can't viewing here, he won't be viewing the algorithm also, everything will become some kind of anonymous to preserve privacy kind of stuff. Is that true? Right.
I didn't get that part. Can you repeat?
Yeah, it was mentioned like if I'm spending some ocean tokens and getting access to the like if I'm buying any private data from the data provider and I have some algorithm, I'm using it on the data which I have purchased.
Mhm.
I remember reading it in the DeFi 101 that the algorithm provider he can't view the data that
Got it. Yeah,
that he
yeah, that's right.
purchased
That's
and
right.
okay. Since I don't have any
Yeah,
deep understanding about data science, I got it out because without seeing the data, how can algorithm use it for training? Is it possible? Just today I planned I should read more about data science, so it is possible, right? Without seeing everything is anonymous
that's a good
happens.
question. Let me show an example.
Thank you.
Assume that I want to buy this data set for 1 week and do
Okay.
everything, but I still want to see. I still don't know what I don't trust the data set, but I still want to see how it works. Like before, even it might have a market traction, but I want to see how it what the data set all is about. So
Okay.
what you
Okay.
will get is a sample data set. For example, for this data set, they have posted a sample data set. So you will essentially get
Get
the
a gist about what the flow will be, what will be the attributes and etc. Fields. Yeah. Okay.
correct. So an expert data scientist can work with the required sample, but I think he can
Okay.
always request. I think there are some currently I don't see a lot of provisions, but usually it happens through trusted parties so far.
Great.
Because some of the data assets do not have so because when you go for publish, let's say you go for a published data set, you have option for both. As a data publisher, you have
Okay.
sometimes people are, you can let the other person download if you don't trust computer data. That is one, because in current computer data not everyone uses this option, just in terms of convenience. You can always put a Dropbox link or something like that, but if you want complete privacy in your use case, you can always go for compute option. So that's where the third party algorithms come into place.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah, I actually had a few basic questions on the selling and buying of these data sets.
Mhm.
So number one is, how would you know that the price that has been listed for is a fair pricing or not without actually knowing the quality of the data set?
Market action basically is just like how any liquidity pool, like one is by reputation. If you i'll I'll share the tab again, 1 second. Let's say you don't want to do anything in the marketplace, you just want to stake. So for that you will have to see on the market action. Even if you, let's say you don't want to buy a data set, you have use this automatically sorts by highest liquidity, how much ocean is there in each pool. So that's how you come into it. So sometimes they provide their own liquidity, or you can actually add to the liquidity as well. So
Somewhere in the DeFi 101, it was mentioned that we have to explore the data set
yeah,
and we can trust and start pulling. We can add liquidity and eventually our share it will be having value when new stakeholders are getting into that field.
exactly.
Somewhere I remember reading.
So you can check this market action, market stats. So this is one of the oldest data sets. I mean, not oldest, like at least in terms of this particular data set, this is one of the highest liquidity that has. So you can check the market action and what price it was at various endpoints. I think this had a liquidity of close to 1 million at some point as well. This was during the peak market action. But currently also, I think it has a decent total volume locked off ocean worth 323K.
So that means that essentially signals how many people are actually invested into this data set.
Yeah. You make those estimates. Currently, it has even I don't have a very intuitive interpretation of all the data tokens as well. But I know this is how it kind of works. You have look at based on the market action. You can choose to trading is a bit risky portion, but instead of trading, you can always add to it. You can stake for a while by adding liquidity. That's how it functions so far.
And if the data assets that are being published are not being migrated from the user itself.
It depends. Like for example, let's say I have let's say if I want to buy this data set, I have it only for 1 week. So I download it and I can so I can play around. If it gets updated, I want to get the updated dataset that's supported. Like, but it all depends on each dataset. So usually for 1 week, you get access to the data asset. If it's too huge to manage, you can always access to the Dropbox temporarily. Then I think you have a data sharing agreement per se. So that part is actually not fully automated per se. Yeah.
So in no case or no scenario will the data be leaving from the user's personal links, or I didn't quite get where the data is hosted every single time.
So when you go for publishing a dataset, you have two options, right? So one is if let's say if you have a lot of de-identified datasets and you intend to update your data pool every time, then you can confidently go for download option. So once you buy it, you get the dataset to yourself.
Okay, yeah, that
So
is fine.
you can get this. It's like as long as you hold the data token in your hand for so much duration, that's up to the publisher. They decide everything. But if you want a complete trust, like you don't trust the buyer, you want to have a trustless solution, then that's how people go for compute. Like here's the option where it completely doesn't leave the site at all.
So where will the data be hosted for that 1 day of time?
On the host.
But if the host goes down,
Technically, I think he has to have it hosted. I think I can have it clarified a bit later.
okay,
But
so there is
publicly,
no
I usually
solution
host it.
as in to migrate the data into a IPFS storage or some other decentralized storage
Mm.
to ensure no downtime or no foul play.
Correct. So usually that I think that part is still open. That challenge is still open. We have a few aspects still to work on. I think one of the people in the community are working on the Filecoin grant. They're trying to use some data estuary to fix the flow. Previously, they tried IPFS, but it was not working out. But it's still open to find some first-class integration with decentralized file storage as well. Yeah, that is still actually in the work. It's a good question.
Okay, yeah, okay. And also the compute part, when the algorithm is training on the dataset that has been bought by the consumer, where is the compute happening, or who is providing the resources for that?
For storage, it's always the host. For the
Okay.
compute part, if the host wants to provide the resource for the computation as well, he or she provides. If it's from the whitelisted algorithm third party, then they provide the hardware and algorithm support.
Okay. So Ocean is not taking up any
Yeah. Ocean.
load there.
Yeah, Ocean
Only
is
facilitation.
only facilitation. Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So host in the sense by who do you call the host? I was guessing it was the Ocean server.
No.
No.
Okay.
Provider itself.
Okay, the data provider. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember reading that the data provider can have their data in their own website or any Google Drive or Dropbox or decentralized like IPFS. What
Correct.
Trishul asked is when a consumer is buying data from the provider, where will that data be migrated till the access period of that consumer? Did I get that correctly or?
Correct. Yes.
Great. Okay.
Since because the whole motto of using blockchain-based solutions is why trust when you can verify.
Yeah.
So
Right. Okay.
we'll have to try to remove that dependency of trusting another party as much as possible if we can.
Cool.
But since the most what I get from Prakash is most of the transactions that are happening in the marketplace are between trusted parties, so it wouldn't be much of a problem of trusting others
Yeah.
or not.
Even in the DeFi 101 last page, it was mentioned that some may be pulling malicious projects also. They may be stacking more tokens. And when people start trusting it and investing their tokens, they'll like it happens in every decentralized thing I have heard. So
For that, there is
to
a
avoid that, they
solution.
said the reliability, credibility, some trust factors. They have the scores and all, I guess.
Yeah,
That is
problem.
one-
That problem is there in everywhere.
For that mechanism, there is something called the purgatory in the ocean. I'll just post that link here. So it contains all the policies. If there is any malicious data pool, there are provisions to send it directly to the purgatory link. So this is especially for the malicious algorithms. Let's assume that if someone is able to duplicate the data asset that they're buying, and then they get blacklisted, and the specific wallets and get they are
Okay.
migrated to the purgatory. And if it is a
Blocked.
data asset, yeah, exactly. So this
But
link,
how do we identify those duplications if you're not looking into the data set?
I think there are some checks in place. I have to go through this purgatory in detail. I think if you have go
Okay,
through this,
yeah, I'll go to
it has all the policies in terms of it. So, but it's not completely trustless. There are some data agreements in place, but yeah, in the V4 marketplace, it will be a bit more efficient. I think that is the idea. And in the current marketplace, there are some projects like Rug Pull Index, so that it gives you a qualitative indicator that the liquidity pool is safe. That's the current place so far. I think in the V4 they aim to eliminate the rug pulls completely. That is also one feature that is upcoming. Yeah. So yeah, let's go back to the 721 that we were discussing.
yeah.
Then let's see if we have someone join. Only this can.
So we have covered NFTizing the sets, and then row admission we went through briefly. I think we've covered everything in row admission. Let me go back once again.
To cover that context, I'll just post a couple of articles. You can actually go through it. So the explanation for this is there are some couple of blog posts that explain what is actually IP, adding IP to base dataset. That's how this works.
Okay, they've given some templates for the smart contract functions that they're using in the flow here. So from the top, we have this function deploy ERC721 contract, name, symbol, the data, flags, and template index. So this will essentially deploy the contract, minting the contract.
Okay. Yeah, today morning for a while I was working on the first few exercises in the crypto zombies, just like you mentioned yesterday. Cool. Just reading, getting the syntax and stuff.
So are you able to see any anything different with these V4 contracts compared to traditional NFT contracts?
So one thing is that roles that we have seen, right? I think that was different. RBAC, role-based access controller, was one distinction that I could see.
Got it.
And this update metadata.
So what is this V3 and V4, the version 3 and version 4 of smart Solidity or something?
Current live marketplace functions on V3 version 3, where you have only data tokens.
Okay.
V4, this is actually I referred in the live reply. The data contracts are already there for NFT and V4, but they're still being
Okay.
implemented currently. It's not yet live on the front end.
Okay, so V3 is stable right now, and V4 it's just emerging
Yeah,
beta
it
phases.
will take
Okay,
another
okay.
4 to 6 weeks to come in play. Yeah, once that's
Okay.
come, there'll be a lot more functions and
One more added functionalities.
yes,
Great, I
exactly.
get it.
But I think V4 is a very big jump from V3.
Yeah, there is
So,
there is actually apart from market action expectation, lot of hope. I mean, a lot of improvements are there in V4. They have been working on this for quite some time because
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, if you look at the couple of blog posts that I had posted, that's actually one of my favorite features because even if you look at the traditional NFT contracts, right, like they do not give you the base IP configurations by themselves. Like the board apes are pretty successful because as a community they have been able to add additional IP rights and everything. They are not doing anything at the contract level, but which community is able to bring so much value through all these IP rights, since they own the IP, it's pretty easy for them. But in case of CryptoPunks, that's not the case. It's owned by Lava Labs, right? So
Yeah.
it's like only when Motive changed the game, the entire thing's kind of, we had a shape shift and so much NFTs, and of course so much distractions are there. But with data NFTs, that kind of brings that IP value to data assets, because if you hold a data asset, how do you define ownership? Only if you have a bundle of rights to them, you can define ownership. So that is what they're bringing to this current V4 as well. So if you're having data asset, having an NFT based on by installing some uh, IP as well to it. I think that's how they are bringing this into play.
Okay, maybe you can take a look at the tests also. So the previous where we have seen the common functions, they're getting the templates from there.
yeah, this feels a little bit new to me. Probably in the next one, I'll understand, I guess. This assert, describe, those stuff.
Yeah, this is almost JavaScript actually, very close to JavaScript.
Okay, okay. Yeah, in
This
JavaScript,
is
I
this.
haven't covered the testing part only, the unit testing and those stuff. Okay,
So
assert, this thing comes there also, right? Okay.
main thing of Web3 is you can actually do all this. This is basically JavaScript. You are using JavaScript to.
Yeah, I remember this await async and all in JavaScript in my full stack course also.
Yeah.
Great.
This is a scenario that they're trying testing,
Okay.
and this is the assertion that they're making.
Okay. Yeah, it's
So
more
so
like
if
JavaScript. Yeah.
see, this is JavaScript itself.
Okay, okay, okay.
So when you usually see the minted addresses, I'll just show you one more screen. Where can I change? Okay, I have to stop sharing and do it again. Can you see my screen now?
The screen is visible, but not the content. The Google Meet screen is visible.
Can you see now?
Yeah, visible. Yes.
So this one, so what this does is every single contract when you try to publish a collection, NFT collection,
Okay.
you'll have to fill out certain attributes. So when you say deploy
Like.
ERC 721 contract,
Okay.
so this is the name. So as we saw the template earlier, name, NFT symbol.
Yes.
We have seen
Okay.
some other example. Yeah. So this one is the amount of the contract.
Okay, and the next
So
is
once you
the.
once you deploy it, and then you again see the deployed details attribute, and you see it as one, is how you're testing the deployment of your NFT. So this basically does a check of the deployed contract, if it has been deployed properly or not.
Okay, just asserting. Yeah. Okay.
So these are scenarios,
Oh,
and at each step
okay.
of the process, you're trying to assert if a certain thing has happened or not. So we are in the test
Okay.
directory right now.
Right. Okay. This unit testing, the main purpose is when we are modifying the code, it will be easy for us to check for like any silly mistakes or any other thing
Correct. Yeah.
that we have done. Okay.
Yeah. So we're describing different test case scenarios and
Okay.
doing that particular action. And after that action has happened, we have await here. So once that action has happened, then we go on assert on what is our expected value and what is there in the as part of the function call.
Okay. Checking. Okay.
Yeah, basically you're saving a certain information here. So basically it's like you're saving this information as a object in the blockchain, and then you're trying to reference it back again. So if you get one as part of the balance of the contract from the blockchain, that means it's successfully deployed, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, just
So
like cross checking it again.
yeah,
If
so
in
you're
case anything has changed. Okay.
correct. So you can do the same check on different.
Everything, every single thing which we
Yeah.
want to make sure it's correct.
Yep.
Okay.
So let's try to put a spin onto this. Like for example, let's say we want to get some API endpoint onto this, right? Can you fetch the piece of code which refers to the like for example, let's say we had to query the data NFT for a particular wallet. How do we do that? Can you try to see if that can be done?
Come again. So you're saying there's a particular data NFT DT token that has been minted for a particular data set.
Correct. And if you want to query the like amount of let's query the account wallet balance for a particular data NFT, is it possible using the Etherscan API endpoint as well?
Yeah, by default we can do that. Yeah.
Okay. So which part of the code here we can try to query? I'm just trying to brainstorm a little bit how we can if it's possible to do that way.
I don't know if they've written it here because they're only testing the creation of.
Yeah, it's not written here. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to put that for the Etherscan API challenge, right? So we were
Oh
discussing
yeah,
that.
actually, yeah, it is can be challenge. Okay.
So that's what I was trying to see.
So when you say you want to get the balance of the wallet,
Yeah,
uh,
and I want to see what are the token balance for a particular data NFT. Like how do we do that? Like in terms of framework.
so what will that signal? What will that describe? Token balance.
If I have bought, let's say, a data asset and I have a data NFT in my wallet,
Okay.
and I want another front end displaying the number of the live. I mean, for a per API call, I want to see what are the data tokens that I hold in my wallet.
Oh,
Got it, right?
yeah, yeah. So you want to see how many data tokens you hold.
Correct, correct, exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's a challenge that we are somehow trying to arrive. So that yesterday we were thinking about how we can do the for general NFTs, right? So if we are connecting towards the ocean data NFTs, and I think that will be the most creative one that I could think of. So let's see if we can hack that and go for it.
So right now the problem for querying NFTs is that there is no interface that is available. You just have to listen to all of the smart contracts. So like this is what OpenSea is doing, right? When I connect my wallet in OpenSea, I get all the NFTs that are there in my wallet that are that are that are that have the ownership of my wallet address, correct?
Got it, got it.
So for the same thing, we'll have to see if I have any data NFTs. Is that what you're saying?
Correct, correct. That's what we were trying to see.
So now this says Crypto Cave's address. You see this address that is there, it has two ERC-721 contracts assigned to it, 1 and 2. Right. So now
Got it.
if you want to integrate this with Ocean, you want to see for this particular address, what are all the data tokens that have been assigned or given to this particular wallet.
Correct, correct.
Okay. I think we'll have to listen to all the smart contracts with that. I don't know how to do it. We cannot directly query into it, I think.
Got it. Okay.
Unless
Well,
Ocean has a layer of collection. Because the NFT collection says, so let's say the NFT collection of this one says the owner is my address. But my address, wallet address will not have a mapping of this NFT, if that makes sense.
Got it. Got it. Okay, fine. That's the limitation there. Um,
Yeah,
but
so that's a
yesterday, did
limitation.
you
So
listen towards the end if that actually means like how do you like if you are trying to find a lot of NFT data, like how do you do it? Like she was mentioning a bit about Covenant API as well. Uh, did that make sense to you?
no, I didn't understand the question. Can you come again?
So yesterday towards the end of the stream, Gyan Lakshmi was mentioning about how to get NFT data uh, data on the NFTs, individual NFTs token balances. That is something we're trying to brainstorm. Did you catch that part towards the end?
Yeah, so once again, I've shown you one NFT, one here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this one I
Okay.
got it from a code that I wrote. I think I have to stop sharing and okay, one second. I'll just display all my. I think you should be able to see my Visual Studio editor here now. Can you see that?
Not yet.
Is it loading?
No, it's showing your. If you put sharing window, I think.
Yeah, I
Okay, you
put
can
sharing window.
try.
I think you have to put a sharing entire, yeah, entire window or something like that. Entire screen, then you'll be able to see.
Yeah, is it visible now?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, so this code I forked from one of the GitHub repos. So this Moralis is one certain service that has some very good utility functions to query into blockchain data. So let's say the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So this is the contact address itself. So this contact address holds this. This is where it started. This has the collection details of all the NFTs in Bored Ape. So when you query into this, so they have provided some really good utility functions. So let's say you have this get all token IDs of this particular address, and this in this collection address, I've given Bored Ape Yacht Club. So when I console log these NFTs, you see these details, right? You see amount is as one. So we have seen another test case being assert the balance of this particular address as one. So this is that one. So this metadata that you see is the actual information about the NFT. The details and the image location is an IPF directory. So
Okay,
if we
of
have the
all
if we have
the
the contact address,
okay,
if we have the so coming back to Prakash's question, if we have the contact address of the publisher,
okay,
then we can query into that particular address and see the metadata of it, and then we can from there we can get the data NFTs. I assume, yeah.
See, I'm new to this NFT space. Can I ask a very silly question? Like, you have one NFT, so if you don't no longer need it, is it like a crypto coin? Like whether you can to sell it to some other person and earn that crypto token, or what is that thing? Am I sounding very basic?
No, I didn't understand your question.
Sorry,
Prakash, did you get it?
okay. Like in cryptocurrency, like we can buy crypto, and if we don't want it, or if the price is going up, we can sell it and earn some revenue or some profit. Do the same thing happen in NFT? As far I understand that NFT, it can't be screenshotted. It is very unique to any individual. So if I'm owning on NFT and okay, it has some value. So if I sell it, will I get the money, or am I too okay?
Yeah,
Does
you
it
will
seem
get the
like I
money.
don't understand NFT? Okay. So,
Yeah, so
here the publisher's contract, it says uh, using that we can get the details of the that particular NFT. So, uh, it will be saying about the current owner of that NFT or the original publisher. Am I confusing things a bit?
okay, I'll just tell you.
Okay.
So there is this contact address that is
Okay.
responsible for putting this collection out there.
So,
And if I buy it,
basically, I didn't understand like what is the output of that. You showed it in the console, like NFTs. What is the value associated with it? What is it throwing?
so that is just describing the NFT. So
That particular
let's
NFT.
let's
The
replace the
details.
NFT with the image. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, correct.
Okay. The details which you shown earlier, right? That assert thing, the NFT's ID and the
Yeah,
value
so this
one
is what
and
this
the
is.
address.
Yeah, so the creator of the collection of
Okay.
the creator of this collection gave this data and said deploy contract.
Okay, so whenever I call this, I'll be getting details about that NFT, not about the current owner of that NFT.
You can get current owner as well, but
Okay.
it's not very straightforward.
Okay, that's what you were saying. If only Ocean had some interactive stuff to get that directly, and you were
Yeah,
showing about that OpenSea and all. They have only
yeah,
access to that smart contract publishers thing, and from that we have to map it, and it's a little bit indirect one. Okay.
Correct. But I think 31st is the deadline for Ethyscan API challenge, is it?
Yeah, that's a challenge. But I think you don't need to code the entire thing. Maybe if you're able to bring the logic through some kind of documentation, I think that's also good. Since you've gone through a lot of details, you can actually come up with this framework and see how we can do it. And the bonus part, I'll try to guide you myself if you can do that. You want to go for this, Trishul? Which challenges are you going for so far?
I'm only doing writer's bounty.
Okay, got it, got it. You
I
can. I
haven't
think.
got really a lot of time. This sprint end is Friday, so I
Yeah,
had some extra work on Saturday and Sunday as well.
that's
Tomorrow we
good.
have sprint review.
Okay.
I'll have to get the demo going.
All the best.
This is for which one? Okay.
No, I'm a full-time software engineer,
Okay, okay, got it, got it.
so I have some extra pending work.
Got it, got it. You try your best tomorrow. I'm not sure about others. I think anyway, I'm giving you the benefit of doubt. So see if you can turn in some kind of submission.
So from what I've learned so far,
Mhm.
there isn't a big difference from fetching what OpenSea is doing right now with the image NFTs and what we have to get in as part of data NFTs. Correct. Both are ERC 721 standard compliant. So I think we should be able to do it. It makes sense to me now, but I don't know what difficulties I'll find once I get started. But yeah, I think it sounds similar to what people have already solved it from querying point of view, but from the minting point of view, as in how Ocean Protocol is actually putting this data into the blockchain. So like I said, the Visual Studio Code, right? I've showed you the token URA, the metadata, the contract name, the collection name, symbol, and all this data. This is the exact information of NFT description and its metadata.
Got it.
So if I can see the exact structure and format of the Ocean data tokens metadata, or basically the structure, it will be same. It will be similar to this because I think they're also ES721 compliant. So it should be the same. So I think if we can get hold of this contact address of the publisher, then we can retrieve the data tokens of the consumer.
Got it, got it. Cool, cool.
I think
So,
there's no any difference between what I just showed as in
sure,
the
sure.
OpenSea profile.
Yeah, I think the whatever sprint that we ran through is useful. I'll pass on the video to someone who's working on it. Maybe you can help guide someone as a team, and let's see if we can do that. You're anyway there on the Telegram group, right?
Yeah, I'm on the Telegram. Yeah.
Since you grasp part of the logic, you can try to put that from your end.
Is
I'll
anyone
see.
who's working on this right now?
Uh, we actually tried to put up a squad. We had a squad plan today. Between Rishabh mentioned he could do something for the front end, and Gyana Lakshmi, I think she had something prepared for the Etherscan API, but she couldn't join. But yeah, she mentioned on the group that she can help with the Etherscan API logic as well. Are you there on the? You're on there in the business group, right?
Yeah, I'm in the Telegram group. I'm in Discord as well.
Cool, cool. Yeah, then of course we can do async as well.
Okay, I just go through API as well. I have the code written for normal ERC 721 JPEG NFTs, but since this
Okay.
is a data token, we might have to change a few things here and there. But I think
Sure.
the current code is enough, I think, for data tokens as well.
Correct. Yeah, I think should be actually good.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. Yeah, I think it was a good session. If anyone joins anyway, I'll let them. I think we can try to close the session. You also have some thing to do, right?
Yeah.
We'll try to work on this async, and we'll have hold the rest of the hacking async today and tomorrow. Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, I can meet tomorrow in the evening. I'll probably join
Sure.
any voice channel tomorrow. So I'll try to get in touch with Rishabh and Gyan Lakshmi tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah. That should also work.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks a lot, guys, for joining.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
So
guys.
tomorrow
Bye.
before midnight I can publish my article, right? I mean submit my article
Yeah.
before
That'd
12
be
o'clock.
fine. Yeah, sure.
Cool. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
See you guys. Yeah.
Bye.